Hi guys, and welcome back to week 2 of our series, Defending Your Faith. This week's question is, where did God come from, or who made God? I hope you enjoy our answers.
God always was from the beginning of time. God has no beginning, He has no end. He is and was and always will be.
Is that true? God did not become God. He always was and always will be God.
He made God. God made God.
He made himself. I have no clue.
He made himself.
He was infinitely existent.
Very good.
God has always been around. God's always existed and God always will exist. Yippee!
So, this week's question on the surface doesn't seem as complicated as last week's question, which is, why does God let bad things happen to good people? This week's question has a relatively simple answer, and there's not a lot of different ways to look at it. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 40:28 that God is everlasting. Romans 16:26 and 1 Timothy 1:17 says that God is eternal. Psalms 92:2 says, everlasting to everlasting is who God is. So, if we look at it from a biblical standpoint, there's no other way to look at it except that God always was and God always is. He doesn't have a beginning and an ending. And the reason I said it's easy on the surface because that is the answer. God always was, He is, and He always will be. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But that is very difficult for us to wrap our brains around, right? I will tell you something that someone told me when I first became a Christian, and at that time, I thought, that's just one of those things Christians say. Someone once told me, you're not meant to understand everything. And I thought, but if I'm going to be a Christian, I need to understand everything. The bottom line is this, guys. We cannot wrap our small little human brains around the infinite wonder that is our God. I mean, there are a lot of things I don't understand. I don't understand the universe. I don't understand the planets. I don't understand how our earth is created and how it can rotate and how the sun provides all of this nourishment for the earth. I can't comprehend, Canis Majoris or any of the other huge stars and planets that are out there. I can't comprehend all these billions of galaxies. I can't comprehend how all the cells and molecules and muscles and veins and organs in my body work together to make my eyes blink and my brain think. I can't comprehend how I have a thought that travels down my arm to make my fingers move. I can't comprehend that. Does it mean that it's not true? Well, no, I know it's true because I'm moving my hand. So I know that it works. It's the same way with this question. I know God is there. I know He has always been there because I can see evidence of that in the world. Now I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Guys, there are just some things we have to accept on faith. No one made God because God has always been there. So let's look at it from a logical perspective. And I'm going to present to you two different arguments. One says that if God was created, someone had to have been there from the beginning. So then who created that person? And if that person was created, then who created that person? And you go back to this chain to where eventually you have to start with one person or one deity, one thing. That one thing is God. If nothing ever existed, then nothing could ever exist. If you want to look at this theory that says all of a sudden the world one cell just popped and then it evolved into this other cell and all of a sudden we had the earth, the moon, the stars. No. If nothing ever existed, how can anything else ever exist? Because you can't create something out of nothing. God has always been there. That is how we are here. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's kind of how I view it. And the other one says that if God doesn't exist, then how do any of us exist? Look at how perfectly together your body is matched. Look at how many different things have to work together to bring you into this world. Look at how wonderfully, uniquely, beautifully you are created. Look at how wonderful our world works together. And I think if you really stop and take a look at how things work, you'll discover how infinitely great God has made himself available to you. So the answer to our question is, no one created God. He always was and he always will be. And that's a great, comforting thought to have. I hope you guys have a blessed week and join us next week for our next question. God bless.